Thank you so much. I'd like to start by also thanking INCA and HMKV and the organizers of this wonderful event. I'm very much grateful for the opportunity to share my ideas. Thank you very much. It's been an exciting few days working with all of you. I will start with a little anecdote, and of course it all ties in. So when I was much younger, growing up in Nigeria, 7, 8 years old, there used to be this very funny thing that used to happen where they call it touch and follow, right? So you could be in a market and there could be someone with some special powers, right? And when he touches you, the myth or what they said was that you would turn into a yam. A yam is like a root, a popular food in Nigeria. And then this person would take that yam and then disappear with you, maybe to use you for some ritual or for some sacrifice or something. So this was always at the back of my head. Fast forward a couple of years later, when I was 11 years old, right? So my dad had a stroke and was out of work for a couple of years. And the major problem at home was access to quality food. And then I always remembered that story. I was like, wow, I'm so hungry. If the fridge or the cupboard could turn into yam, and I can have that for food. So this was the kind of experience I had growing up. And this became something very dear to me, the issue of hunger. And moving forward, I always said in the future, I would do something in that regard that would ensure others don't go through what I went through. And I also remember a couple of days ago, I did an interview with the Voice of America, and the guy asked me, how does it feel to be hungry? And I had to recollect those days where my hands would literally tremble because we didn't have food to eat. Therefore, fast forward 2013, Chowberry was birthed to do just that in terms of resolving the issue of hunger and food deprivation. And I would like to start with one last statement. So it's still in line with all of these Afrofuturism, how African tech can be really exported and a force for good beyond outside within Africa and outside of Africa. According to the Science Daily, humans evolved and advanced by collaboratively improving and exchanging technology and culture, by studying materials such as spear points excavated from the Blombo Stone Age caves in South Africa and comparing them with Middle Stone Age deposits in distant locations. There was found remarkable similarities. Therefore, the concept of human technological advancement needs to change towards more openness, exploration, and acceptability of technological discoveries from any part of the world without the usual prejudices that come with tags such as first world technology, third world technology, or developing country technology. Why? The cure for cancer may very well exist in a little leaf in the jungle in Africa, but because of that tag and that label, we may never know. So, Chowberry is empowering households with affordable nutrition. It is a service that does two things primarily. One, it improves access to affordable food, making it more accessible to underserved communities. And two, it reduces food waste at the retail and consumption level of the agricultural value chain. And what is the problem that we're trying to solve? The first problem is the challenge of hunger, right? According to the UNFAO, 13 million Nigerians are hungry. Of course, if you multiply that across Africa, it's a huge, huge problem. And this photo actually came from one of our partners while we were working in the field. That's an African woman who can only afford a cornmeal, and she presses it up, mixes it with water. You can see this, the kid is resisting because he's tired of having just that. So this is the problem we're trying to solve on one hand, but on the other hand, there's so much going to waste, right? This is a photo from a grocery store taken, did I hit something? Okay, taken in September of 2014 on the 13th, and it was expiring in a few days, right? And they had aisles upon aisles of products like these about to expire. When we asked them what they're going to do with it, they said they would destroy it. So on one hand, you have this, but in that same city, you have this. So there's where we connect the dots with Chowberry. I would like for you to enjoy this video and then I'll continue. This was something that affected me psychologically. I always said sometime in the future, I would resolve this problem. I would leverage my abilities and capacities to ensure that others don't go through what I went through.
It's so difficult for me to get food to feed my family because I don't have work to do. So it was people's help that I managed to feed my children. But now things will be better for me.
Okay, just like the video explains, our proposition is very simple. We simply prevent what would have otherwise gone to waste and redirect it to those that need it the most. And all of this is done using a web-based software and technology. And one of the things we try to do different, of course, food rescue is nothing new. It's been there for quite a while. But we try to build something sustainable in that the food rescue, of course, relies on donations and the entire logistics of having to move it from one place to the other. But the challenge there is that if there is no donation, then there's no food, right? So with a win-win scenario where just before it expires, the retailer can still make, even though it's 10% of his original cost at a giveaway price, then everybody wins at the end of the day. But retailer has something in his pocket, and also the people have something to eat. So how does it work exactly? Let's say Inke owns a grocery store, and then she has this challenge of products sitting on the shelf and the dates get closer. We would sign her up on our platform, give her a back-end dashboard that helps her see all of these products in real time as it gets closer to expiration. Then the novelty is that while this tracking at the back end by the retailer Inke is going on, we're able to display it as deeply discounted products with the actual dates as it expires. So you may find on our platform, you would see products 30 days to expire, 20 days to expire, and of course, as it gets closer to its expiration, the prices are greatly reduced. So on one hand, Inke has that data, we set it up, the retailers put up that data, and then the outside world, we have NGOs and charity partners who rely on that deeply discounted product and distribute it to the poor families that are in need. And the question that always comes up is, how does a poor person access this quality food that's in an affordable price and is cheap when they don't have smartphones, right? So that's where the NGOs and charities build that gap or bridge that gap. So they already have these families and communities that they are taking care of. If they were spending, let's say, 100 euros to feed 1,000 people, our value proposition is that with half of that, you can use 50 euros to feed 2,000 people because it's cheaper and it's more affordable. And then we don't see them as poor people that we're helping and they're beneficiaries, because there has to be dignity in the food chain, right? People want to be dignified. You don't just want to dump things on them. So our messaging is that they are active partners in building a sustainable food system, in that rather than letting some of these things go to waste, damaging to the environment, they're actually part and parcel of helping build sustainability. So like I explained, you would see products approaching the end of shelf life. And then most recently, we have opened it up to regular people in the community who just earn a small salary. So they would go on our platform, place the order, and then they get a unique passcode that they can take to the store, show it at the store, and then they can buy it at those special Chowberry prices. And there are key features of the application. Like I mentioned, you have a secure dashboard for the retailer. You have the shelf life countdown. You also have the consumer marketplace, where people can see all of the products, whether it's cereal, grains, and whole foods, that they can access at deeply discounted price. So we have been able to help some retailers cut down on their losses up to 80%. We have also worked with many retailers to make sure that rather than totally lose, they're able to have some kind of sustainable way to manage the product shelf life challenge. And then, of course, we continually reach some of the underserved communities and groups by allowing them access to some of these quality meals through our partner relief agencies. And we've reached this year alone 2,000 households, and we have over 6,000 daily interactions on our platform. And in 2016, we had over 150 orphans and vulnerable children relying on our platform for their monthly nutrition needs. So I would end with this short video that explains so much more. But before I do that, I would quickly like to explain the business model itself. So the business model is that we charge the retailers for this service because we're providing two values for them. We're helping them cut down on waste and also ensuring those products don't go to waste. And then, of course, any transaction that is not by an NGO, regular income earners, we're able to earn a percentage per transaction. And of course, back to the exportability of African technology, we were invited recently to use and deploy Chowberry in the state of Baltimore, where in the US you have the problem of food deserts, areas of large populations where there's no grocery store, right? Only liquor stores, no healthy food around. So we're already in talks with people outside of Africa to implement this solution to address the problem of food deprivation and hunger.
One in 9 people do not have enough to eat, and 1/3 of the food that is produced is either lost or wasted. I'm Shalini for AFRO-TECH here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, to meet with a software developer.
This is something really personal to me because in time past I've actually experienced food deprivation and hunger, and it's something that I can connect with. I believe in the paradigm of internalization, so it simply says a solution gravitates to where the problem is. Chowberry is a social enterprise that seeks to provide affordable nutrition to disadvantaged groups and demographics, primarily using technology and cloud technology.
So show me how the app works. If this retailer were to download it, how exactly would they use it?
They have access to a back-end dashboard where they simply upload the categories of products that are closing expiration, 90 days. And once they do that, the app automatically begins to help them track what within their shelf. The novel thing is that as it gets closer to the end of shelf life, the prices continually drops. At 90 days, it shaves off 10% automatically. At 60 days, it shaves off about 40% automatically, down, all the way to 15 days, where it shaves off 70%.
We have been partnered with Chowberry since August 2016. I would advise every store or supermarket to get this app. Your cost, you get your cost at least 25% of what you bought, and you still give it back to the society. So I think God will bless you for that.
Sometimes I so go stay with hungry. I so I go begin to cry. Say they need food.
The problems here are stronger, tougher problems. And if a solution works here, it could work anywhere in the world.
Oscar hopes to reach 100,000 households worldwide by 2020. For more information, visit uprocks.com.
So I'll just end by talking about how self-initiated change can be a force for reducing over-reliance of foreign aid in Africa. We're seeing more and more technology-driven solutions in the area of health, in the area of agriculture. And with these solutions, we simply just need to scale up, and this would be a strong point whereby we are the ones solving the problems of the continent and also exporting some of these things and reducing over-reliance on foreign aid and international donations. Thank you.